Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great and welcome to your daily morning update on XRP. We're going to do a full update right here. We'll talk about the technicals. We'll talk about whether we have finally topped out, but we'll just talk about everything you need to know. We'll talk about relevant levels. We'll talk about the different possibilities, and I will tell you which possibility I think is most likely. Now, first of all, I'm very happy about yesterday morning, in which I switched bias. I always said I don't think XRP is going to break above $3, even though I did always say we can. And yesterday we did break above that, and I said, all right, well, this actually looks like a real breakout, so we're probably going to go higher into equal highs right here at 3.4, and then potentially even into 3.6, where we have some Fibonacci extension levels. And that's what we did, all right? So happy to be right about that. Personally, I actually called a move on some XRP beta, which was Flare. You might know that has performed decently well over the last 24 hours, but not as well as XRP, or maybe as well as XRP. I'm actually not certain. No, well, similar to XRP. But right, so we got that move up. We reached our price target, which at this point of time is those equal highs, right? And a little bit higher because of the Fibonacci extension levels. So now the question is, can we actually get to our next price target? Next price target, in my opinion, is $4. Big psychological level, but if I remember correctly, we also have some Fibonacci extension levels there. So that creates, like, when we're in price discovery, like we are right now, two things are your best friends. That's psychological levels, and that's Fibonacci extension levels. All right. Some people use like these ascending trend lines. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of that. Can they work? Yes. Are they the best? No. Fibonacci extension is much better. But at this point of time, are there reasons to be worried, right? I mean, when you have such a major move like we see right now, and you have so much leverage coming in, we need to kind of dissect the price action and say, well, do we actually, or are we actually seeing signs that this is a potential top? And I would say, yes, we do see those signs, but those signs are not extreme enough for me to tell you we are going to pull back. Because in the end, what we have gotten with XRP is a rally with a lot of momentum. We've had a breakout above a very significant level, the equal highs, and we did that with a lot of volume. All right, so those are the most important things for me, and that's why I'm going to tell you that, first of all, on the higher time frames, I'm still bullish on XRP. I think on the higher time frames, we are going up to $4, and I think you should keep that bullish bias as well. However, if we zoom in a little bit, what you can see, not only for XRP but also for Bitcoin, is a bit of a sell-off. Look, at some point of time, we're going to get a sell-off, and a Friday historically has always been the de-risking day. And then outside of that, look, there's this important level for XRP, in my opinion, and that is between 3.38 and 3.45. So that's a combination of, well, basically the most of the liquidity that we formed yesterday, right? So you have a fair value gap, you have a value area high, and then you have the point of control, so that's liquidity of the highest volume move yesterday. So that's around 3.35. That is, in my opinion, the most important level, and that coincides with those equal highs that were made in January, I think it was. So for me, the biggest question today for XRP is going to be, can we hold that level? So you can see right now, there is that selling pressure, and that's also what we saw for Bitcoin. But the big question is going to be, can we hold that level, yes or no? If the answer is no, like I said, I still think on the higher time frames, we are going to be bullish. But if we're not going to get a strong reaction from 3.4, 3.35, right? So if we're not going to do this, if we do this, I think we're going to rally up higher, right? If we're not going to be able to get a strong reaction like that, and we drop down below that level, then I think we're going to drop down lower. Where my first price target would be right here at $3 again. When we have a single print, we have a lot of imbalances, we have a naked point of control, and we have the 7-day rolling VWAP. Do I think this is most likely? No, I'm fairly 50-50 on the price action for XRP. For me, it purely depends on how we react to 3.35. Get a good reaction there, and I'm as bullish as you can get a weak reaction there, and we're going down to $3. Those are my thoughts. Hopefully that helps, but that's what I think you need to know for today and for now. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Take care, and bye.